All right, getting into this because it's a wonderful thing and we don't have that much time because you all want to get out there and you want to get on with the celebration and you want to do all those American things that we all do, like barbecuing and eating hamburgers and hot dogs and drinking beer and whatever else we do on this good day. So, yes, loving kindness and the 4th of July. Well, yeah, this new nation, and we're a very new nation really, not that old at all. I mean, what we've created as a democracy. That is, as a whole, our nation is very ancient and very, very well established with the original Native American peoples. But when the influx from Europe came in and changed that all around, a whole new thing happened. And a great deal of it was fantastic and great, and a lot of it was not so good. But however, we're looking at the good at the moment. And so, to be able to take up a document like, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and the Declaration and all of that, and read these things and think, oh my gosh, look what came out of a time when the people, our founding fathers, as they were called, I'm sure there were a great deal of founding mothers just nudging them and poking them and saying, for God's sake, get on with it. Do we have to write this thing ourselves? I'm sure of it. But to think that they, in spite of the fact that they themselves could not adhere to what they were saying, nevertheless, this is the right thing to do. This is the right way to be. And went ahead and actually made the statements and said that each and every person has an inalienable right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Every single one, without exception, was an awesome thing way back then. Truly. And I mean, we had great celebrations around it, and it was wonderful, it was great, it was grand, and everybody thought this was terrific. And then as soon as it was established 5 minutes later, we forgot all about it and started our bad behavior up again, and so on and so forth, etc. But we're a terrific people, and we are a great nation. And what makes us a great nation is because we're the world. All of the world is represented by the United States of America. There's no one nation here. It's a compilation and a compilation of all nations of the world. You'll find us all here all over the place. And that's what makes it great. That's what makes it great, and that's what challenges us all of the time, and rightly so. And so we have this fantastic, phenomenal, original philosophy out of which we're all invited to create a life for ourselves wherein we are free to pursue our happiness. And within happiness is every good thing, every good thing. And so that's what we're celebrating today. It's not just the fact that we can get together and have a day off work and eat, drink, and make merry and enjoy our fireworks. It's much more than that. We are also celebrating the internal fireworks that certainly I feel when I think about this great land. And yes, I am very aware of the underbelly of this nation. I am very aware of the mistakes that we have made, are making, and no doubt will continue to make. I am very aware of where we don't get it right and where we do get it right. But nevertheless, overall, I have absolute faith in this United States of America because of its people. I have traveled around many of the states. I've met the people in many of the states. I love the people in our states. They are delightful. And my faith is in the people. Everywhere I've gone, I have found people who are willing to help, concerned, care about, make an effort to make someone's life better, someone or another, even if they are strangers. And so that's where my hope lies, within the hearts, within the minds, and within the souls of the people. And somehow or another, Spirit, by means of the founding fathers and mothers, knew that we were equal to the responsibility of what we were called to by way of our nation's policy. And then on top of that, we had, at the end of the Civil War, a gift from France, the great Statue of Liberty, a gift from our neighbors across the pond. And they gave it to us at the end of the Civil War, and especially to commemorate Abraham Lincoln. And I would like to remind us all of the sentiments that's written upon that statue. It went out that we were going to put a poem on the statue's base. And so out of all that could have been chosen, the one that was chosen was written by Emma Lazarus, who was an interpreter, spoke 6 languages, very well-educated lady, was the daughter of a very successful sugar mogul in New York or New Jersey, I can't remember which one. They're very adjacent, close to each other. And she, in her spare time, would volunteer in a hospital that was dedicated to immigrants coming in at Ellis Island and so on, and taking care of these people. And when you read what she wrote from an inspired mind and heart, you get the idea very clearly of who and what we are all about. And I'm not going to read it all. You can read it all yourself. Look it up online if you haven't already got a copy. It's called The New Colossus, by the way. And it says here, "Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. She cries with silent lips, 'Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.'" I don't know why, but every time I read that, it always moves me. It moves me. I think, oh my gosh, how deep a commitment is that on the part of, the United States of America. Always with that intention in mind to create greater liberty and to allow more and more to pursue happiness. And to come here invited and live a life that's sustainable, and live new and live free, and be welcomed to enjoy what we have here to share. It's a phenomenal thing. It's such a worthy thing, and it ties in beautifully with our mission and vision in our spiritual organization, to awaken ourselves and to awaken humanity to spiritual magnificence in such a way that we can co-create a compassionate world that works for all, So I see in all of that the building of bridges. I see in all of that, commitment to peace. I see in all of that a drive to share the good that we have with others, because we were once ourselves the other, coming into this great land and welcomed into this great land in the beginning. And so it continues, her legacy continues. The Statue of Liberty is not just a gift from one people to another. The Statue of Liberty is a sacred symbol. The Statue of Liberty is the soul of our people. It is the heart of our people. It is what we stand for. And I could not imagine us being without it. If she was to disappear, I don't know who we would be. And I can remember before I lived here, when I would fly in over the harbor into Kennedy Airport, something in me would get God bumps when I'd see that Statue of Liberty in that water. Something in me was always very moved when I saw that statue. And even then I sensed it was so much more than a statue, just as you are so much more than you, and I am so much more than me, and is everything and everyone. So you and I have been given, the torch has been passed on to each generation, to you and to me, to live up to this. And so we go forward and we move ahead and we strive to be the great nation that we were called into being, in spite of our not understanding it, in spite of our inability to be it right there and then. Within that was the promise, one day, yes, this is going to be how it is. We are one people, we're one world, we're one race, we're one family. We're not going to get away from that, and we can't back away from it, and we cannot go backwards. The world is not going backwards, it's going forward. And you and I are the ones that are called to live this out in our lives and to pass it on to the generations that are coming. So what is it all about? Life is all about empowerment. And the United States of America is all about empowerment, empowering us to do better, be better, succeed more, and all of that. It's all about that. How the power is used, however, is the challenge. How we use what we are giving is the challenge. There is all kinds of power, but the power I speak about today is spiritual power. It is grace power. It is godly power. It is truth power. And it encompasses compassion and loving kindness. It includes in it all that is whole and wholesome, so that you and I can always have enough power to sustain ourselves. And as I was sharing this morning, think about this power that you and I are endowed with as, well, let's think of it in terms of money, $100. Say you're given $100 every day, and that's what you have to use. And when you use it, it's gone. That's it. You've used it. So you think about how you're going to use that $100 by way of power. I mean, how much are you going to spend of their $100 on the regretted past, the memories of the past, the resentments that flow out of the past, the what-ifs from the past, the if-onlys from the past? How much are you going to spend on the worries about the future and your not knowing and the uncertainty of all of that? How much are you going to spend on that? And then how much are you going to spend on the troubles of today as you look out into a world and you let it all cave in on top of you? How much are you going to spend on that? And then what about your own personal concerns? How much of that $100 is going to go on that? Well, how much by the time you spend all of that do you think you've left over for the empowering of yourself, the maintaining and the sustaining of the health of your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul? How much do you think you have left? Let me tell you, it's not much. It's not very much at all, and we need at least 51% in order just for maintenance. Just maintenance. That's all, far less growth and advancement and so on. So today we are asked to think in this powerful weekend that we celebrate such a glorious and an amazing, powerful concept, to look to ourselves and ask ourselves, how indeed do I spend my time, effort, and energy? How do I spend my thoughts? How do I spend my feelings? How do I spend my actions? On what do I spend all of these things? What do I spend of my energy, of my power on all of these things? And if I need to redress that, if I need to take a recalculation on that, well, by Jiminy Crickets, we shouldn't waste any time on doing it. Because, time she go fly. I mean, it's no use waiting until whenever the right time is for me to get my ducks in a row and pull everything off the top shelf and off the back burner and so on, and I'll take care of it all mañana. It doesn't happen, and you know it doesn't happen. You've lived long enough and you're old enough in the tooth now to know that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And so consequently, we need to take control of our power. Not take it back. We never lost it. We've always had it. We need to take control, charge of the power that is ours and direct it in a way that is not only sustaining us, but it's also advancing us, and not just as individuals, but as a whole community, a global community. There's plenty of power to spend and much to share when you use it wisely and well. Why can't we conserve our power the way we conserve coupons and different things in order to save 10 cents here and there? And that's good practice, and I'm all for it. Indeed I am. But why are we so squandering and squanderous with that one essential, most important, vital thing of all, our empowerment? Our empowerment. So we have to watch it when it comes to what we are thinking about, feeling about, and acting from and upon. We've got to watch that. You know, Paramahansa Yogananda, amazing, amazing energy, and a very peaceful soul, and a very powerful soul. And he had reached the stage where he could say to himself, when he said to himself, I will watch my thoughts. That was the end of it. He didn't have to work on it. He watched his thoughts. I will do thus and so. He did it. His will was strong in spirit. He didn't have a wishy-washy weak will. He didn't have to keep sitting down and saying, well, I better work on my willpower now, and I better work on my character now, and I better work on this now, and I better work on that now, because he had done all of that. And he had arrived at the stage when he said, I will do something, it was done. And there was no hassle, because he had let loose all of his negative habits. There were no more negative habits that he had to be concerned about and work on. Well, you and I have some negative habits that we have to work on. We better jolly well just roll up our sleeves and do it. There's no more postponing. This is it. There's no right time for this. There's only the ripeness of time. And the ripeness of time is now, because Spirit by means of me is saying so. So we all better get our act together and just bite the bullet and do it. Bite the bullet and do it. Why? Because you can. You're able to. You're equal to it. It's the stuff you're made of. I can do it. That's what you're made of. I can do it. But how many times have you used your energy telling yourself, I cannot do it? And above all, let's not waste our energy on very small, minuscule circumstances. Like my hairdryer didn't work this morning, or whatever it was. Am I going to blow a gasket because of that? Because the line is too long in the supermarket? Because I can't get a parking place? How much energy goes on that? Well, when you begin to see it going out from you, and you will feel it going out from you, there's no doubt about it, you can feel it going out from you. Say, stop it! Come back here now! This minute! Stop that! Come back here! What do you think you're doing? In there now. And pull yourself out of it. Distract yourself by demanding that that power come right back now. And you're not going to squander it on that. That's not where I want you to go, you willful child. Come back here. Come back here. Take charge because you can. And if you're not in charge of your life, it's because you're not bothered. You don't care enough. You're not vested enough. You're not tuned in enough. In fact, you're not even aware of your life and living. It's just meandering out there on its own, doing what it's like, as it likes, when it likes, and how it likes. And you are just randomly floating through all kinds of debris as a consequence of that. So today is a wake-up day for all of us. Today is, listen, if you want to feel that you're living at liberty and that you are indeed pursuing happiness, you must be in charge of your own life. You know, Dr. Murphy says, and I love Dr. Murphy, great metaphysician, he says, the world is full of educated derelicts. Full of educated derelicts who squandered and wasted their opportunities and didn't think aright or feel aright when they were younger. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them, he would say. Be who you are. Address yourself as Spirit addresses you. Know yourself as Spirit knows you. Never mind what anybody else is thinking about you or saying about you or believes about you. It's baloney anyway. It's not true. And the same goes for what you're thinking about yourself when you're erroneously thinking and erroneously feeling. It's baloney, it's not true. So pull your power back and take control because you're equipped to do it. You are the expression of the Almighty itself, loaded with infinite intelligence, believe it or not, and that's funny, loaded with infinite intelligence and the wherewithal to live whatever kind of great life you decide you're going to live. And then be like Paramahansa Yogananda, and when you tell yourself, I will, then no, you will, and back it up. Grow a backbone of steel and exchange the wishbone for the backbone, and know that that will serve you much better, because you are, my dear ones, you're America. You are America. You are ready for the liberty and the pursuit of happiness for yourself and everybody else as well. And it is in the DNA of America to share and to give and to help. Who are always the first responders when there is ever a disaster in this world? Yes. And who is always very quick to forgive? Americans are quick to get over themselves in that regard. Quick to forgive, but also alongside of that quickness goes the quickness of a juvenile, and that's about how old we are as a nation. And that is, we're also quick to forget about our mistakes and then go on and make another one, you see. So the power is with you. You have the ability. All has been given to you. There's nothing else you can get. There's nothing more for you to get. There's nothing more for you to realize. There's nothing more for you to discover except to wake up to yourself and your own sovereign beingness. And to start honoring yourself as the being that you are. Respecting yourself as the emanating presence of Spirit. And having faith in the creative process that lives in you, moves through you, and is available to you in every now moment. Well, when we begin to do this, let me tell you, lives are transformed. Transformation happens, as does transcendence, as does the changing of circumstances for the better. And no one can do this for you. No one. We can all lead each other to the well of understanding and knowledge and wisdom, but we cannot dive in for each other. We have to take the plunge ourselves, and it's because we're equal to it and we can do it. It's how we are programmed. So life, by means of each one of us in this room now, is bubbling up and saying, oh my God, I hope they get it. I hope they go for it. I hope this time it won't go in this ear, out this ear, and out the window. I hope that this time what is being heard, what is being registered with, what is being recognized, what is being affirmed and said yes to will last more than 10 minutes outside of this room. Perhaps now is the moment for each and every one of us to make one, just one transition, just one step forward into the good that we desire, whatever that good is. Just pick one thing and allow yourself the liberty of experiencing that happiness, because you can, because Spirit, by means of you, can appear to do the impossible. And so it is. God bless America.